Another day, another Chevrolet. We're gonna walk past that, getting this old Dodge. Oh, not this Dodge, another white Dodge. This old Dodge over here. Guy's going the wrong way. This one's got a bit of a whine. Hi, pumpkin. And it's bleeding. By that I mean it has a power steering leak. 2018 Dodge Durango. Not a Durango. I don't even know what this thing is. Don't listen to me anymore. It's a Dodge something. And it's leaking power steering fluid. I looked at it for the lady yesterday. And I got the part today. 77,000 and some change on the Odo. It's a Dodge Journey, I guess it would be. This thing is super bizarre because it will only leak when it's stone cold. Which is really weird. And it's down quite low on fluid now. I'll show you what it is. It's just a bad hose. It's a return hose here that comes off the rack and pinion. It's leaking right out of this crimp. But we had this thing in here when it was, because she brought it in because it was making this growling noise or whatever. So we check it outside of power steering fluid. We fill it up. Obviously it had to go somewheres. And Josh and I look over this thing, I mean front to back. You can see every inch of line, the cooler, the pump. And this thing is literally bone dry. I mean, there is nothing nowheres. And she said it had been this way for a while. I was like, wow, must be she's running it low for a long time. But, you know, of course we filled it up, took forever to bleed the air out. And, you know, Josh took it out and drove it. We drove it for, 5-10 minutes, brought it back in, put it on the lift, and bone freaking dry. The next day, however, got cold, started up, and it's just literally dumping out of this hose. So just the most bizarre thing ever. Why it was sealed up when we looked at it and then, let it sit overnight and then all of a sudden, bang, it's leaking. I don't know, but it was pretty wild. You can see on the floor she left the snail trail all the way in. And it's not like this thing's, a rusty piece of junk yet. I mean, for an 18, it's pretty dang clean, to be honest with you. But yeah, it's just leaking right here and only when it's cold. So we're gonna take it off the rack. We're gonna unbolt it from these bolts and then just clamp there. So it's a piece of cake to do, but I don't know, so I'll bring it along anyways. Let's see, can we reach that one? There's one bolt. There's two bolts. There's two lines here, pressure line, return line. And they are on different clamps. Okay, fantastic. And then we've got our clamp here. We'll undo it. Give that a wiggle. So I'm going to push against here. She's probably going to pee on this a little bit. There it is. She's peeing a little. And then we will use the foot of the crow. We'll reach up in here. Actually, I'm going to use a little longer extension. Almost too long. We'll reach way up in on the rack. And once we crack this loose, hopefully she'll slip right out of there. Oh, bro. There we go. Now we should be able to reach right up here. I got you where you can't see, but it's not overly difficult here. Clearly. You have to use your imagination. And there it is. So we take that baby out. I'm curious, can we just pull this thing apart now? Yeah, we can. Yeah, boy. Almost. I mean, you can pull the whole top half of the hose out of that crimp. Well, ain't that some stuff? I can't believe it wasn't leaking worse than this, because yeah, you can almost pull that whole hose right out of there. It doesn't make sense to me, but whatever. Maybe it was sitting just right when we initially drove it or something, who knows. But if I didn't see it with my own two eyes, I wouldn't believe old Josh. Because looking at the thing the next day, it was pretty obvious where the problem was. I can't get my grippers to work. So So we'll get these ones to work. Put that in our save pile. Get your clamp back on there. Put that back in there. The lady didn't say how long she was driving it, growling like it was, but hopefully for not too long. The pump did quiet down after a while. Oops, she ripped the glove. Leave that kind of loose. Then we'll get this one fished up around here where it needs to be. Hopefully. With a bucket. Through the hole, through that hole, and torque that right down to factory specs. Oops, we put this on the opposite of the way it was when it came off. We can't live with that, can we? Flip it around, not that it makes a difference, but personal preference, you know. We don't want anybody to know that we were here. So now we can line this back up exactly where it was. Like so. And then we can reach back up here and finish this little guy off. Tighten that down. We'll go up with the foot of the crow. I wonder why they picked the crow, not any other bird species. You know, why can't it be the blue jay foot? Or the robin foot? Or some kind of warbler, you know. Nope, crow. And, I don't know. Let's clean off our mess and we're done. Brake clean action. This can looks like she must have fell off the box. Its top is a little messy. Oh, and she's spraying a few different wet directions here. Yeah, running down my arm. Alright, good enough. Boy, we need to get a new lid for that one. We'll fill her up here. Got some of the ATF plus 4. Don't have much in here. We'll probably have to go get some more. Well, it depends on how much it pulls it down. Right now it's right at the max line. Now let me fire it up. I bet we're gonna need more. Okay. Yep, we need just a little bit more. Let me go get us a little bit more. The one thing I noticed, folks, is this hose here is just like a, you know, plain old rubber hose. I don't know what you would call it. If it's EPDM rubber, what it is, but it's just, you know, plain old feels like a plain old rubber hose. And then when you look at the new one, because both of these are OEM, the new one is a woven, like hydraulic type hose. It's much stiffer, you know, has that, you can see, you know, kind of this woven coating here on the outside. Not that they would ever admit and say, you know, maybe they saw a problem, maybe there were some vendor issues. This was before COVID was a thing, so it wasn't a supply chain factor. At least we didn't talk about it out loud. So I don't know. She's all fixed now, and this lady's gonna be happy. Why don't you make me happy by heading to that comment section? Questions, comments, Insta, Facebook. You guys know what to do. And just remember, viewers, if I can do it, you can do it. Thanks for watching.